Yikes. So here's the thing that I want to say. Here's the thing that I want to say to all the DGGers that come in. I'm sad about this. I'll have you know that every step along the way, I have been urging Destiny to not have these terrible, terrible takes. Like when he called AOC economically illiterate, or when he said that white people should be able to use the N-word publicly, or when he said that Black Lives Matter protesters should be mowed down by white redneck militias. All those things, all a step of the way, people were telling him, dude, that's not cool. And he's the one who doubled down. And a lot of people went out of their way, bent over backwards, quite frankly, to try to help him out. But his ego and his bitterness and his fucking like holy fucked up nature has now come home to roost. And I feel bad for him, honestly. I legitimately, I want to say this as an olive branch. I feel bad. And I had absolutely nothing to do with this. As much as I think he's a piece of shit, I feel bad for the guy. Saw his debate with you the other day. All the comments were focused on how you were a fake lawyer. That's all they had. And it's not even true. I never, ever, ever said that I was barred to practice law. What happened was a Democratic Party official made a mistake on my petitions. In the profession section of a petition that had never been used at anything but information. They said, what do you do? I said, I just graduated law school. They put lawyer in my profession section. That's what that was on a petition. And I didn't notice that until later. I talked to the Democratic Party. They were like, oh, that should be fine. And the Democratic Party paid for my court case. And we won at the appellate level. We won at the trial court level. We only lost at the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, which at the time was full of Republicans. And you know what happened? Nothing. I ended up winning the Democratic primary anyway. And everybody knows that was a fake fucking attack that Republicans cooked up. I never had anything to do with it. I was just the victim of that. But yet, Destiny fans go around and spread the idea that I went around saying I was some sort of practicing attorney when I wasn't. And I never said that. So when you go and take things out of context and lie about people, you shouldn't be surprised when people take you in context. Remember that. Remember that. And maybe, you know, he used to say the F slur all the time until he got banned for 30 days for it. Maybe he should take this as kind of like a lesson, a learning lesson, and change his ways.
Let's mold in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's fog in the Central Committee right now.
Poor guy. Recently, I was made aware of a deplorable statement made by Steve Bonnell II, aka Destiny, inciting violence on the platform Twitch. On Tuesday, I issued a statement through my campaign condemning his words. Since that time, more and more of Mr. Bonnelly's reprehensible statements, all of which I condemn, have been brought to my attention. Effective immediately, the Gudgel for Mayor campaign is severing all ties with the omni-liberal movement and founder Stephen Bonnell. Is this real? Is this his actual thing? His statements do not reflect our campaign's values and priorities, and we will no longer accept his support in any form. I recognize that my initial decision to associate with Mr. Bonnell was a mistake. I was excited about the work of OLM in Georgia and the outcome of the Senate runoff election, and I failed to vet Mr. Bonnell properly as a result. Had I done so, I would not have accepted his aid to my campaign. For this failure, I am truly sorry. I hope that members of the community forgive my lack of judgment in this matter, and I sincerely apologize to anyone and everyone in Omaha who has been hurt by this. Man. Yikes. Destiny's vulgar remarks extend beyond his comments this summer, including telling a sexual assault survivor who hoped she was raped with a shovel. Holy shit. Oof. Oof. Yeesh. Yeesh. Yikes. Oof. Ha. Hee ha. Oof. Ha. Wow. Mark Gudgel's controversial connection with Destiny, Stephen Bonnell II explained. Trigger warning. This article contains mentions of violence, slurs, and rape. Okay, is everybody content warning? Content warning? Chat, we're about to go and talk about something that's going to have a lot of really disgusting rhetoric. I want you to know that before we start, I disavow all this rhetoric. I support Black Lives Matter. I don't think that white people should be able to use the N-word. And hopefully those are the main, I don't know what else is going to be brought up, but those are the two things right off the bat. White people, that is unacceptable. Racial slurs should never be used. And Black Lives Matter protests are very important, and I support those movements. Okay, we good? Okay. So, what happened in Omaha, Nebraska? Now, chat, there is a streamer on twitch.tv, a former partner streamer, Stephen Bonnell II. He has been departnered from Twitch after many, many years because of highly controversial statements about white redneck militias mowing down dipshit protesters. Now, that was such an extreme statement that Twitch's legal department stepped forward and removed his partnership. They said that would expose Twitch to legal liability if they endorsed his stream. And so they cut off all support of Destiny. He can no longer receive subscriptions, bits, or ad revenue from Twitch. For some reason, though, Twitch's health and their safety department, the rules enforcement, did not ban him, which was really weird. People were like, the statement was so bad that Twitch Legal didn't want to partner him anymore, but he never got banned. And so there was a lot of rumors that maybe Destiny has somebody who's very friendly to him inside of Twitch's enforcement. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. These are just rumors that I heard. I've not had the best experience with Twitch's enforcement, but I see no evidence that they're corrupt. However, that's just a rumor that has been circulating. Anyway, so now he started streaming on YouTube as well. Now, if you don't know who Destiny is a streamer who originally started as a StarCraft streamer. He wasn't very good. He was like a semi-pro player, but he quickly became famous because of his edgy content. He was a gamer. He would use slurs. He would be, very aggressive. He would make, pro tip videos where he would compare things to raping someone and stuff like that. So he very quickly started to grow as one of the edgy gamers of StarCraft. He never really succeeded as far as competition goes, but he quickly became a kind of personality, right? He became a personality streamer. And, for the past, 10 years, he kind of, skipped from game to game. He always had that very, very edgy audience until about 2016 when he debated JonTron about white supremacy. And apparently JonTron was a racist and couldn't defend his white supremacist notions too well. And Destiny owned him in the marketplace of ideas. And for a lot of people that were left-leaning on the internet, finally seeing someone stand up to all the racist gamer bros was really refreshing. And Destiny's, kind of stream and his content, which went from being moribund and kind of small, really rejuvenated. And he became kind of famous as like kind of a left-leaning content creator. When everybody else was doing the anti-SJW, Gamergate, he was a refreshing different from that. Right? So he gained a lot of followers who were more political and more left-leaning. However, he made friends with a man named Hassan. You may have heard of him. And Hassan had worked for TYT, his uncle's company, as a journalist, as a content creator, as a left-winger. And Hassan came on Twitch, and then he started to perform really well. Because Hassan not only has more credibility in politics, working with TYT, he also knows more. And even more importantly, he's a better streamer. He's more entertaining. He's more charismatic. And so as Hassan grew, Destiny began to become jealous and bitter. And eventually, his jealousy and bitterness overflowed, and he basically burnt the bridge with Hassan. He attacked him. He called him a liar. And it was over a video on Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Imagine losing a very good friend over Kamala Harris's campaign. A campaign that Kamala Harris cared so little about, she didn't even make it to Super Tuesday. Oh, wait, she didn't even make it to Iowa. Oof. Oof. Yikes. He cared more about Kamala Harris's campaign than Kamala Harris did. Woo. Now, their breakup was very famous. And it's immortalized in a very famous clip. You've probably heard of it.
Nothing I do is performative. So I'm not going to, for instance, I'll use Hassan as an example. I'm not going to talk to a black person like Trihex and say, hey, the N-word, it's always what do you think black people...
What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Excuse me.
Holy
Sorry.
fucking
I'm out of
shit,
control.
dude.
I apologize for that.
Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. Can someone at least fucking enlighten Destiny that he's literally lying to his audience? What a fucking piece of shit, dude. Holy fucking shit.
And when he was talking to a black person, Trihex, what he was referring to is Trihex, another very long time streamer on YouTube, or on Twitch, excuse me, had talked to Destiny about how much him publicly using the N-word was hurting him. And Trihex, you know, I don't want to read into his mind, but a lot of people are aware that he got emotional. And Destiny kind of said, fuck you, and cut off all contact, even though a friend of his said that his open use of racial slurs was hurting him. So Destiny kind of burned all those bridges to maintain his, you know, I use the N-word all the time. That's what he said. So let's get into the article of why Mark Gudgel's controversial connection with Destiny, Steve Bonnell II, this is why he got rid of him. Omaha mayoral candidate Mark Gudgel is currently facing questions regarding his connection to Steve Bonnell II, a popular Twitch streamer and liberal advocate who is under fire for inflammatory statements he's made regarding the Black Lives Matter movement. In a clip from one of Bonnell's Twitch streams that recently surfaced on social media, Bonnell, known as online as Destiny, said the rioting needs to fucking stop. And if that means the white redneck fucking militia dudes out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point, they have my fucking blessing, because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago, unquote. Now, that quote right there is outrageous and disgusting. And that is what I believe got him departnered. And that's why there's no check mark. If you go to Destiny's page right now, there's no check mark next to his name. Responding to this clip, Bonnell said he was frustrated that people misconstrued a 16-second cut from a larger conversation. In the full video where Bonnell says optics are everything, he only added that he thought that rioting would give former President Trump a path to victory in the November election. His message about protesters did not change. In addition to the statement made in the full video, Bonnell said, then the white people out there are angry that their businesses are getting blown up when they're blowing away protesters. Then everyone could just be angry and mad. Wow, I didn't even know about that quote. That's even more disgusting. The video was posted on August 31st, 2020, almost 3 months to the day after the death of James Scarlock amid similar violence that Bonnell promoted. Mark Gudgel's campaign has not officially discussed it in local media until September 29, 2020, nearly a month after the statement was made. In response to the clip being discussed on social media, Bonnell said, I hope that people bringing this clip and its connection to Gudgel's campaign realize the real harm they are doing to democracy by discouraging political action with their attacks. I think that Destiny, I'm glad that you're door knocking. But you're not just door knocking. You want to be the guy standing next to Mark and getting credit for it. However, in a feature Wired article on Bonnell, he seemed to have a different idea about American democracy. I think that people in general are stupid, and I've actually lost my appreciation for democracy at this point, he said. Other older videos and statements by Bonnell in the past have also come to light, including one where he uses the N-word and the F-slur. The Wired article also describes some other comments he made in the past, including telling a sexual assault survivor, I hope you get raped with an effing shovel. This is disgusting. With these statements, many on social media have questioned Bonnell's connections to Gudgel's campaign. Bonnell currently lives in California, but his son lives in Omaha. Bonnell is the founder of a group called the Omni-Liberal Movement. And as an Omaha native, Bonnell decided to support an Omaha candidate for mayor. In a statement posted on Tuesday, Gudgel said that his campaign is proud to be partnered with OLM, but they do not receive campaign money from the group, though OLM has 2 separate paid consultants in Omaha and is housing and mentoring 10 full-time volunteers. Gudgel also distanced himself from Bonnell's controversial statements. I recently learned that Stephen Bonnell II has made a reprehensible statement last summer inciting violence against protesters while communicating with his followers on Twitch. When I heard these remarks, I was disgusted. So was everybody else, and we tried to get him to, but he doubled down, Mark. Keck W. Mike can't say anyone's. Well, how do you say his name? It's Gudgel. That's what I said. I said Gudgel. Okay, whatever. Gudgel. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. However, his statement did not make a clear break with Bonnell. Instead, Eric Kiesling, Gudgel's campaign manager, simply said Bonnell is not a member of our campaign staff and does not speak for our campaign. Nevertheless, while Bonnell may not be a paid staff member, he has been actively supporting and fundraising for Gudgel's campaign. Bonnell featured Gudgel on his Twitch stream to do a Q&A. He was a guest on Gudgel's podcast and raised money for the campaign via PayPal. Wait, what? What? Uh-oh, that's not legal. Well, I mean, maybe that's, I mean, if is it going to Destiny and then he's donating it? Or is that going to the campaign? I'll take a look, hold on. It appears Bonnell is continuing to be involved in future canvassing events for the campaign as well. Gudgel's statement calls for a focus on policies in the Omaha mayoral race, but it is still an issue for some voters. Amelia Roser, owner of Shealytown Market, has publicly discussed her concerns as an engaged community member. I learned that Gudgel's campaign was largely supported by a subreddit community organized by Destiny, she said. Mark's campaign accepting Destiny's endorsement and support is problematic. Rosner has been met by volunteers at her workplace. On February 27th, an employee of Destiny, who made it very clear he was a campaign staffer, came into my shop, she said. After a bit of waiting, the man conversed with and pressured Rosner about Gudgel's campaign and talking points. Rosner soon found out that this man and more volunteers were staying across the street from her business. He also came back the next day. It was unnerving as I felt I was being watched, she said. I did receive an email from Mark Gudgel. I replied with my experience that I was not with any campaign. I told him that I did feel harassed. He has not responded to my concerns. Rosner said that this campaign strategy is not transparent and that accepting the endorsement of a problematic influencer is unsettling for her. She has also said she has heard complaints about the volunteers aggressively knocking on doors. I've heard that they've been responding to those voting for the black women running that it isn't Mark's fault that he's white, she said. Of the whole situation, Rosner said, I come at this as somebody who is not part of any political campaigns during this election cycle, but instead as someone who smelled something fishy and found fish. Oh my God, this is illegal. What the fuck is this? Destiny's Omaha Mayoral Race Fund to help Mark Gudgel? Are there any limits in the Omaha? Are there any in-kind limits? Is he properly organized? This seems like a federal. This seems like a law. This seems like a campaign finance violation to me. You need to be a 501c4 to do stuff like this. How do we know that foreign money isn't being used? What if there is foreign money being used from abroad? Or people are using this to circumvent campaign finance limits? I don't know. I would investigate this. I would investigate this to make sure it follows all campaign finance rules. Okay. It looks like they have unlimited. Wow. Wow. That's, yeah. Wow. The table below details contribution limits as applied to various types of. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What a surprise. Okay. Once a candidate for state or local office raises, receives, or spends $5,000 or more in a calendar year, he or she must register the candidate committee. There are two types of committees that are commonly referred to as political action committees or PACs. One type of PAC is a political action committee sponsored by a corporation, union, or other type of organization. Another type of PAC is a political committee which is not sponsored by another group. PACs are required to register with the commission and file periodic campaign statements disclosing receipts and expenditures. I need to look into when the PAC requirements apply in Nebraska. Just so you know, Twitch, you're not permitted to spend money for the advancement of a candidate in an election in most states without registering as a PAC and following campaign finance law. So, I don't know the situation in Nebraska, but in Pennsylvania, you would need to file PAC information. You would need to file and register as a PAC in order to spend money, because they're spending money in favor of a candidate. Because if you didn't do this, chat, then you would be able to just spend infinite money and no one would ever know. And you could hire people and you could raise money and no one would ever know. And it wouldn't go through the official candidate. That's typically not permitted. Okay, continuing. One of the most well-recognized protesters from last summer's protest, Bear Alexander, also responded to Gudgel's acceptance of Bonnell's support. My initial thought was, when I found out, was, well, I'm voting for either Jasmine or Camara, and Gudgel was never in my thoughts about the race in the first place, he said. It's still upsetting, though, that a man who claims to be for the people and reaching out to activists and community advocates is also working with a man so oblivious to any social complexities that led us to where we are now. After seeing Gudgel's statement, Alexander said they're pretty much saying they don't care what he said and will continue to work with him because he's changed. Alexander had only one course of action to suggest for Gudgel. Even if Mark doesn't agree with this dude, at the very minimum, Mark is an accommodationist and not fit for Mayor Alexander. If Mark had no idea, he needs to disavow right away. Rozer handily agreed with Alexander's assessment. Omaha deserves better, and we can't sit back and remain silent about these red flags, Rozer said. Wow. And it looks like that Mark Gudgel has agreed with this statement and has fully disavowed working with the omni-liberal movement. Now, I think this bodes poorly for the omni-liberal movement being worked in the future. The fact is, no candidate, and I said this before, when he was saying dumb shit, like you can't say that it's good for white people to say the N-word. You can't say mow down dipshit protesters and then think politicians are going to associate with you, dude. That's not okay. What a shame. Well, technically he wasn't wrong. The Gudgel guy literally ignored all that shit about him to work with him. He ignored it, and frankly, like, you don't. And guess what? If Mark Gudgel wants to make his campaign, he can't have his cake and eat it too. Either he agrees with Destiny, or he doesn't. And it looks like to me, he is severing all ties. So, The real question is, does Destiny care about his candidate enough to swallow his pride and keep working and organizing for him as just a regular volunteer? Or is he going to pull out because he can't get attention from it anymore? What a shame. What a shame. Hey, Destiny, if you would like to reach out and have a conversation, I'd love to talk to you about how all politicians have to agree with every supporter. That's a pretty insane narrative to go with, Mike. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and unban that person. No, but when you stand next to them and you say, I love my friend Destiny, and people are like, wait a minute, that Nazi guy? Like, well, he's not technically a Nazi, okay? He's actually deconverting people. Well, didn't he say Black Lives Matter protesters should be mowed down by rioters and then refuse to walk it back? Yes, he did. Scratch a liberal and a fascist bleeds. Is this the left eating itself up while the right-wing mayor wins? Nah, I don't think the left is eating it up at all. It looks like the people on the ground there, when I look at this race, fiscal responsibility. Wait. I don't see anything about racial justice. No wonder Destiny supported this guy. Meet regularly with Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 leaders in Omaha? What the fuck? Aggressively recruit new business partners? Wow. Base decisions in human rights, equity, Midwestern values without exception. Okay, so this guy has no fucking chance. He's got no chance. Reading the two websites, I would definitely bet on Kamara Snipes winning. He has no connection whatsoever with like any activists or politicians or political people at all. At all. You know, like, listen. Endorsements. Yikes. I mean, it's on the fucking Wikipedia. Whereas you look at Kamara Snipes, she's got Ben Nelson, former senator and governor of Nebraska, local officials, Don Preister, Bellevue city councilor and former state senator, Ann Ashford, attorney and wife of former U.S. Representative Brad Ashford, and Carrie Eastman. That's the center and the left of the Democratic Party, including Ben Nelson. They're all supporting Kamara Snipes. Seems to me like the black woman has got the real local support of the progressive wing and the centrist wing. She seems like a real candidate. The always online white guy who has the support of the anti-BLM guy probably doesn't have the support. I'm just going to go ahead and say that my faith is with Kamara Snipes. And you know what, chat? I don't live in Omaha. But Kamara Snipes seems like my kind of candidate. I'm going to go ahead and make a $250 donation. I'm going to go ahead and make a $250 donation to Kamara Snipes because I want her to win. You know, that is what I want to see. I wish her the best. And I know that it's hard to raise money, you know? Go with my PayPal. I'm gonna go ahead and hold on, chat. I'm donating, okay? Well, let's watch this video first.
You've been actively involved in Omaha politics for 50 years.
Yes.
What makes a good mayor?
Well, a good mayor is an individual that has vision.
Labor
and
leader.
courage. If you don't have that, you're not going anywhere, neither is our city. Kimra has the strength and vision to see change. Anybody can stay in the same old groove. It takes a leader to get out of that and make a change. She has that ability to do it.
Omaha,
Bannister's Leadership
Nebraska.
Academy, before Miss Kimra came, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of boring. Miss Kimra is kind of either like a surrogate mother or a aunt, like the cool aunt that you can talk to and that understands where you're coming from more or less because, you know, she's lived in the area.
Cuando tú hablas con todo el corazón y con sinceridad de que quieres lo mejor para la comunidad que vive dentro de Omaha.
Bernie, move out of the way.
Ese específica vecindario.
I've always kind of been a book reader. I never really wanted to be around a whole bunch of people, but she kind of helped me open up more as a person.
She's doing everything, and by everything,
Mike, I thought you don't cover local politics. Well, now you know. Oh, wait, hold on. Chat. I cover local politics. No. Unban them. They're chuds. They're funny. They're here. I cover local politics all the time. Candidates that people have talked about on my stream, like John Fetterman, you know, who's going to be the next senator from Pennsylvania. I've been talking local politics for a very, 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 very long time. Now, what you have is what's known as a clip chimp, where I was talking about whether or not we shouldn't try to push Biden left or not. One of the people I was talking to said we should just do mutual aid streams. And then the person I was debating with, he never did that. He went and did normal national politics coverage every day. If you go to his stream every day, it's national politics and shit. So he wasn't even making that argument in good faith. And I care deeply about mutual aid, which is why when people ask me all the time what they can do, I help them. I've had dozens of people join the DSA in the past month alone. I care about local politics. And it hurts me that Omaha has a Republican mayor. And I see a leader here who has people of color foreground in her campaign ad and labor leaders. I think that's a unifier. That's a unifier. And I want to help her win.
I mean, she's the SONA president. She is at the library.
Kimra is the head of a neighborhood association, and she has been working in that area with people. So who knows it better?
Anybody that you would talk to that was involved in any kind of program with her at the library will tell you that they trust Ms. Kimra.
And she also, by being on the school board, has worked with so many families and listened to them and about their families. She sees it every meeting. She understands the working class people.
Raising a child as a single mom, you know, that's something to admire. We're facing some very turbulent times. You know, it's time that we end racial discrimination.
We have been a multicultural city forever since we started here. You look at the thousands of signs in our city throughout Fair Acres and region all over that said Black Lives Matter. We're ready for any type of change that comes our way.
She is from South Omaha, but she doesn't only represent South Omaha. She works in North Omaha. She works for Omaha as a whole.
She definitely cares about everyone, specifically the children. I know that her wanting for mayor is more to try and make her community better for herself, her family, and just everyone that she comes into contact with.
Who is going to advocate for us and who's going to look into the best interest of all of the neighborhoods and not just certain neighborhoods.
She helps neighborhood associations. She tries to help the young kids coming up. And she's done it all of her life. She just didn't do it because she's running for mayor. She's done it all of her life. It's a genuine individual. You're getting a real person for the mayor of the city of Omaha.
Wow, that was pretty beautiful. Now, let's see. All right. She left a position, so she worked for the Omaha Public Library. Sadly, our police community relations have been degraded under the incumbent mayor. Camara personally lives with those results because of the worst consequences impact communities in South and North Omaha. She's committed to improving those relationships and restoring mutual trust. She will lead an all-civilian oversight and review commission for her first year in office. Those are really, really hard to do. That is going to mean she's going to be fighting with the police union, a knockout, drag-out fight. All-civilian oversight and review commission, that is very tough to get in place. Police unions hate it. Police unions hate it. She wants a Wi-Fi access program. She wants to invest in the bus system. Placing snow gate arms on plows. Okay, she's definitely lived in Nebraska for a while. Snow gate arms on plows. Hell yeah, chat. That's important. There's nothing worse than when you shovel your driveway and then a couple minutes later you come out and there's a 3-foot ice wall at the end of your driveway because the plow came by. She knows what it's like. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty down in the weeds, very small ball style campaign platform. There's some things that I like in it. The all civilian oversight review. Under Kamara's leadership, the city will work with the nonprofit sector to address homelessness, chronic unemployment, and other root factors contributing to lapsed behaviors. I mean, listen. She's not the most progressive I've ever heard. But addressing racial unrest and inequities, she seems like a solid community leader. She seems like a solid community leader, chat. I can see why she got all the endorsements she got. She released early endorsements including Omaha labor leader Terry Moore, former U.S. Senator Ben Nelson, recent Democratic congressional candidates Carrie Eastman and Ann Ashford, and former state senator Don Preister. Wow. Pretty good. That's pretty good. If Kara likes her, she's probably not that bad. And her website being shittier leads me to, and she has these endorsements and her website is shit, tells me that she is much more likely to win than he is. All right, chat. This has been a hilarious day. Everybody, please, thank you for cheering me up to end the stream because this is hilarious. We do politics here every morning starting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. You can watch us here on Twitch. We're the morning guy, the morning politics guy, Politics Frogs in every single day, same time, 10 a.m., day in, day out. And we carry you through your morning and early afternoon politics needs. And if you need more, Mike from PA, we have a YouTube channel. We talked about suburbs, the My Pillow guy, Ted Cruz. We talked about DSA. Amazing. Making fun of Tim Pool. Amazing. Look at all of these amazing videos. Get in there, watch them. We have me on Twitter. You got to follow me on Twitter, chat. I'm at 20,614 subs. That means I got like 40 followers on Twitter in the last day. You can do better than that. Go follow us on Twitter. And of course, join the Discord, where we have an incredible community of left-wing streamers. We have left-wing community. We talk about the stream. We talk about politics. There's gaming content. It's a really awesome, supportive place. Direct action, mutual aid, and you can just let off some steam. And also, you can help produce the show. One of the things I do is I look at the links that are put into the news content suggestions chat room on the Discord. Join the Discord, come hang out, and maybe what you want me to talk about will be part of the next show.